Oh, you're syncing yours too? Yeah.
Yep. I'm in there too.
Yeah, I see you there. Nice.
Yeah, it's so
Okay.
convenient. I love Restream.
Restream's great. Not sponsored by them, guys. We are live. Yeah.
Yep. But we do use them. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I probably will start using their services. Maybe we could get a sponsorship from them.
Yeah, maybe. Let's at them all the time on X.
Yeah.
I've gotten lots of people to sign up, like A and other people. Yeah. So
Yep, me too. I was actually using them as a place to send my OBS to and then have it sent back to X through it for free. Ben Tommy says, let's go, gents. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm the Tesla Tracker, and I'm here with the great Mattsby, and we're here to talk equities and cryptocurrency.
and
And
Tesla.
of course, and well, the big news of the day was Tesla. That's right. Had a big blowout on earnings. They showed off that they could really cut their costs and increase their margins by a lot.
And the Cybertruck was kind of cool too. How it was uh what were the numbers? I can't even remember the numbers, but the numbers were good.
Number one best-selling truck
Yeah.
or EV truck in America. Actually, I'm not even sure if they qualified as best-selling EV truck. I don't know. I think they sold about like 40, 50,000 of them, like that. All they could produce. They sold every one. And they're reducing. They're going to be working on reducing costs of the Model Y and Model 3 this coming in this year to produce a lower cost model. And it'd be kind of cool to see them work on the Cybertruck, getting the cost of that thing down too.
Oh yeah.
That's originally when he did the presentation, he said, "Oh, it'd be like about $49,000." Like, yeah, sign me up for that. Like, I immediately hit the reserve button on a
Oh yeah.
$49,000 Cybertruck. I guess it's gonna take a
Yeah.
little while to get it down to there.
Yeah, it's not right away, but a lot of people, I'm sure, would buy it at that price.
I definitely want one.
All right,
Anyway,
so
yeah, go ahead.
just going to start with the indices real quick. SPY, yes, it's going up pre-markets at 580, but guess what? 585 is still resistance. So does this pre-market action excite me? No, it doesn't. It's just stuck in a range. Day over day basis, it's also kind of, let's look at that, just battling that conversion line there at 580.27. So we'll see if this momentum picks back up and closes back above today, or if it wants to drift lower still to go back to 573 or lower. So just got to watch that, but it's still resistance, no change. And QQQ, also same situation. It went down to the baseline yesterday, perfect hit almost, and now it's battling the conversion line up top, 491.94. So let's see if it wants to close back above that today or not. But 497 still is resistance, and IWM is same situation, right? It got rejected at that 786, came back down to the 50-day yesterday. Perfect hit, actually, and wicked below just a little bit. And now pre-market's back above the 219.79. So lots of things are still pretty much at resistance. And yes, IWM as well, because now it has this resistance above at 220.89 and 221.94. So pre-market does look good, but still I'm cautious because everything is still floating at or near a resistance level.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking just before the show. I think we see maybe a lot of gamesmanship going on between the support and resistance levels between now and the election results. So the next 2 weeks might be kind of choppy.
Yeah. And I don't know if these resistance levels that I showed you and all of them are going to break before then. So we might see just more sideways or down, in my opinion, for the averages. But individual stocks like Tesla still have opportunities to go.
Yep.
All right. So I guess the big news of the day is Tesla. And I'll start off with this chart right here. And I have an arrow pointed there because I'm bringing back the log scale Fibonacci for Tesla, the 618, the 242.44. That's from like a couple weeks ago where I was like, yeah, price might want to gravitate around there. And look at that. It's a V bottom and it's gravitating right back to there. So if you just ignore the past couple of weeks, it's still the trend is looking like it wants to stay around 242. And now it's 244 pre-market. So if the week does, in fact, close above this level, in my opinion, I think all of this was maybe just a liquidity grab to steal your shares. and just tank price right back down to support, which it really was, with based off the Ichimoku. That was really just support in this zone. And whoever sold yesterday or the days before, they just took your shares and they sent it higher. So basically 242.44 is all I care about for the rest of the week. And everything else too, when you look at the moving averages, it's going to be opening back above the weekly 200, even the monthly 50 right there, that green line, that's the monthly 50 moving average. So basically, it's going to open up above a lot of previous resistance in one giant candle today. So this is a really, really nice development. And I think even on the daily chart right here, it did just blast through all of that resistance as well. Even the baseline up there, which was 238. Right. So much resistance just got broken in one giant candle. And it kind of happened. If you remember, Kat and I were talking like there's like not much of a space there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's the path of least resistance would be smashing through it on Thursday. And sure enough, that's what it's going to do. So it's interesting development how price attacks the most vulnerable part of the cloud sometimes.
I love
and
it.
it kind of did it last time too. You see right here, that was really a small little section of the cloud that it just smashed through and went through, and it did it again. So just a very
magical Ichimoku is foreshadowing, a reversal, foreshadowing a breakthrough right there.
But no, I don't think it's not a gap and crap. I don't think it's going to be a gap and crap, because usually when a giant candle smashes through every single resistance in one swoop, usually there's follow through, because it's not opening below any resistance at all. It's opening above every single resistance level. So usually when I see that, it's continuation. But could people like retail that's still in it take profits in the morning and maybe send it back down to some levels? Yeah, but I think the big money will just steal their shares again and bid it back up. So basically any kind of dip, I think now could be worth buying, because this whole zone now, like the 238 to the 242, even down to like 236 where the weekly moving averages is, right there, 236.20, like that whole zone, I think it just wants to go higher. Like this chart is telling us that it wants to keep building a higher base at higher levels and just go higher. So this is a good development. But anyways, my goal for the week, 242.44. That's all I want. That's all I care about. Close above that, then I can see a continuation.
Yep. And take a look at Matt's 0.702 fib there at 272.79. That's where we're going to go after that.
So let's see.
Matt, if you want to share my screen,
I'll
show people what I see coming next. All right, so this is my Tesla. This is a 15-minute chart that lets you see all the price action we had since it crapped out from the 265-ish high, 264-ish high. Ran down. We had the 1010 event right here, and it gapped down through that. And then it was like stuck in this tight little range down here. And I show you the Bollinger Bands were getting really tight. And Matt and Kat were showing you that we had so much support down here underneath. Even my good friend Zach Manis, who taught me how to do Elliott wave theory, him and Garrett Patton together under Avi Gilbert's tutelage. He had a prediction of 209.45 as an ideal place for it to touch and go from. And we didn't quite hit it, but we got very close, within like 1.2% of his target. And yeah, boom, right here once the earnings report came out, it screamed up. The earnings call started. The earnings call was right inside of this larger degree, this larger flag that you can see. And then ever since then, right here is the pre-market. Here's in the open, some retail took some profits. They thought this is going to be it. It's going to go back down. They sold. Nope. It's still going up. I'm looking for price to come up. Oh, so what I did right here, I simply did a retrace. The next important level is 271. Matt's got that 272 on his chart. But right here, back here, remember July 11th? We hit that high of 271 after we had hit the April 22nd low. And then price just went for like 6 or 7 weeks. Price just like didn't do anything. It was stuck around between like 170, 180, and the Bollinger Bands got really tight. and then it blew up to 271, couldn't hold it, and then the rest is the history we've been through. But that 271 level is going to get retested. So I simply have a retracement, a fib retracement going from the low we just hit yesterday at 212.19 before the market closed, up to 271. And on the way there, I think, usually I show you these retraces all the time, right? Usually these retraces go 382, 236, 618. Well, that's just not going to cut it for this story because it ends too far underneath. This red band is the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. We're going to bust through that. So, and you can see it even just kind of touched around this 50% level. And this is, this is going off of the 101 bottom. This is a Fibonacci extension up. So from 101 to 300 back to 130.80. This is the halfway point extension. And so price kind of hung right around there for a little bit. But we're going to test 271 next. But I think what's going to happen is it can't get there too fast because November 5th is election day. November 6th is election results. I think it's about there. So I'm going to watch for price to skyrocket towards 271, but then start to asymptotically approach it, which means that this might kind of bounce around here for a little bit. And then after election day, then it can break out. And we'll get to retest 300. That'll be the next level that the price is going to look at, 300 after that. But maybe a test back to 271. Well, it'll do this right here. It'll go over 271, test back to it, then on to 300. It'll probably come back to 287. Is what I'm guessing. So there you have it. So the turn in this, I wouldn't trade this at all. I just buy.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done trading Tesla. I've told that months ago, really. When the chart started to look a lot more bullish on top of all the monthly indicators, I was like, I'm just in accumulation mode. And I did buy more when it went down to 220 and just below.
Oh, yeah.
I said I wasn't going to, but I just couldn't help myself. So I just did.
So for all the people that have been following me and like to trade like really tight like I do, don't stop trading it. Just hang on to what you got. If you don't have enough, buy more. This is it. It's going to go up to 271 next. And then it'll hang around under 271 for a little bit, not giving you much of a trading opportunity there. And then it'll break out after election. That's what I'm calling for.
And almost all the weekly moving averages and everything is sloping up now too. So it's basically bullish mode. So I think people
went from bullish mode to super bullish mode.
Yeah, it's not super bullish yet because there's still not a higher high from the 2021 top, right? If you just go draw a straight line, it's still, the bodies of the candles are not going above the wicks of the previous candles. So it's still technically not really a higher high, but it did break that downtrend if you do trend lines. So basically we can see price getting better and better, but it's not 100% bullish yet. But once it is, I think many people will get left behind.
Yep. They'll just like, oh, I can't believe it's this high. It's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it. I'll wait for it to dip back to 100. Folks, it's never going to 100 again. But it's not even going to 200 again.
I heard the same thing about SoFi when I was buying in the 7s. They're like, oh, this is a broken stock. It's not doing anything. But the market structure was going better and better for SoFi. And now SoFi going below $10 might be difficult, right? So.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. If I was going to try to pull up another... So my longer term Tesla chart, it's like a 4 or 8 hour chart. I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. So this has been pinned on my profile for the last couple of weeks, or for the last week or so. There's 3 very, very likely paths here for Tesla over the longer term. One is if I simply go back to the beginning of time and the 414 high to the 101 low, that is this path right here, the third path, where it went up to 299, came back to 130.80, and this is the wave. No, I'm sorry, wait. It's this one. This is the blue path. So 417 back to 259. That would be a 100% extension back to a 382. That's weird. And then on to 672.48, back to 514, and on to 1085. This one's pretty wild. I don't know if we'll get it, that one, but that's just theoretically it can happen, or it could end up looking like that in the long term. What I'm really favoring is this middle path here, where it's simply just like we had back here in 2020, 2021. I'm sorry, 2021 to 2022. It just did this, holistic move up. I think we're going to get a repeat of that. And that looks a lot like this brown path, where it went 299.29 for the A from the 101 low, 300, 130.80, then 710.59. So that would be just like a crazy. And what I did, I simply just measured this ratio and applied it here, and that's where I get 710.59. So if history rhymed perfectly with it last time, then that's what we would get. Yeah, I'm leading into that. And otherwise, the next one is just take the 101 low to the 300 high, to 138.80 low, and you get the this black path that's got yellow, black and yellow numbers. 290 back to 214, up to 412, back to 336, and up to 610. I don't favor this one. I don't think we're going to see it come all the way back to 214 again. But we'll watch. I'm going to watch very carefully. When price gets up to 290, we'll see what happens after that. If it starts to just really start to dive down, then maybe I will look for that. But otherwise, it should just go to 300 next. Why does it say 130.80? Oh, because one it's that's that right? It just never stops. Either pause at 299 or 290 or 299, or it doesn't pause at all. It just keeps going. 417 is what I meant.
So there you have it. We are both bullish.
Very, very bullish.
For the long.
I wanted to show my Bitcoin chart off real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is just also looking at it on the short-term scale. Boom! I predicted this 65,000. Actually, I predicted a 65,138 bottom. We got 65,000 even is where it bottomed out yesterday, and now I see it recovering back to retest. See if I can get a third breakthrough attempt. Again, because of the election, price might hang out sort of asymptotically under here until it's not even going to show up on this because November is like way over here. So I guess if it needs to buy more time, it might come back down to half of this move and just attenuate, something like that. Bitcoin's gonna be stuck in range too, I think, unless it's got some kind of greater plan I don't know about and wants to run back and test like 62,000. But I'm everything looks pretty good. I think that might be the bottom of it. I think we might just be hanging around until it does push up.
Yeah, I'll show mine real quick for Bitcoin. So this is the chart I have been posting on X all the time, and where I was like, yeah, if people wanted to short, it would be at this point up here at 69, and sure enough, that was perfect resistance. And then then I put on this fib right here from the high to the low, and I was like, well, this 702 is support, and even yesterday it closed above it. It closed at 66,601, and that is 66,577 for Bitcoin. So this is looking like that giant wick looks like it's going to be all there is, right? And I think if this 66,577 keeps holding on daily and weekly candle closes, it's going to go higher, and then it's going to smash through the 786, then the orange level at 69,200, and then go. But this is the number that I was caring about the whole time. And yesterday when I saw that daily candle close, I'm like, let's go. It's going to be another bullish day. And sure enough, when I went to sleep and woke up, it was over 67,000 again. So this is a really, really good development for Bitcoin. And people that were saying it's going back to 62, 61, I don't see it coming back here. And especially, I don't see it really going below my arc anymore. So could it go back to 64 if that broke? I was expecting it to yesterday. I was like, yeah, 64, 540, it's going to go there, but it never did. So the big money front ran all that stuff and just launched it back up. And
I might have fixated too much on the 69,000 level. Maybe price will go all the way up to under 71,000 before election.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And
I all I see
yeah.
is if this holds, this can start building a base on top and just go. So I don't think it really matters. So my focus is maintaining that 66.5 and nothing else really matters. And if that breaks, I'll reassess. But until then, I think it's going to go higher. So,
Woohoo!
and that's a good segue into our request of MicroStrategy right there. So
Yep.
here we go.
Yesterday on the whole was a pretty red day, and red days aren't days to be sad. They're days to get out your pocketbook and start buying stuff.
Yeah, I was buying Con L, and I know Cat was too. Did you buy any tracker, Con L?
No, what I don't even know what Con-L is.
It's Coinbase Long 2X. It's the Granite shares. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't buy 2X often, but when I do, I buy them at support. Yeah.
You have to get some of that.
Yeah, so I got some in the 28s yesterday, and what's it pre-market? Yeah, it's a 31. So it's looking pretty good. So there we go. MicroStrategy, 1 point. Oh, I also put all these buys in my Telegram group for Tier 5 on Patreon too. So if you're interested in joining, I was talking about buying it yesterday at 28. So that's a little plug right there. Meet Kevin style, right? No. Coupon code. No. Anyways, so MicroStrategy, the 1.618, 204.57. That was always my target to hold as support. And last week it held. This week it's holding. It looks like it's building a base on top of 204. This is kind of confirming to me it wants to go to the 240s. The 240s first, because this is linear scale. On log scale, there is a 245 fib in the way. So it's going to go there first, then back up to the 280s after that. So I think this is looking really bullish. And all I care about for MicroStrategy is holding 204.57 for the blast off zone.
Ooh.
And you got one too, MicroStrategy?
Let's see. Let's see. MSTR. Yeah, I think we showed this yesterday. MicroStrategy. I've got my next target is 253.48. And I might have to change this chart because I'm not sure it's going to come back this low. But just look for 250. So listen to what Matt said, basically. And look for 253.48 as some sort of resistance. But it may not come back that low. It might just come back. It might just do one of these little 764, 618, then 1618.
The trend has been once people think it's going lower, they don't let it go lower. And that's been happening for a lot of things. So I'm like, I don't even know if I want to take profits anymore on anything.
Right? Just let it ride.
Yeah. What else do we got here? I see a UNG. Do you have one of those charts? A UNG chart?
No, I've never. Oh, United States Natural Gas Fund.
Yeah.
Liquid propane.
Oh, this is your style. You love catching these.
Oh, yeah. Let's look at this on the weekly chart. Now, just so you know, the macro version of this is liquefied natural gas is a byproduct of fracking when they're trying to get that stuff. It just comes out for free. They try to get rid of it. They would give it away if they could in some places. Otherwise, they just burn it off into the atmosphere, which is terrible for the environment, by the way. So natural gas, as we get more and more fracking, it just becomes cheaper and cheaper. I mean, the market for this isn't going to be the U.S. market. It's going to be like the global market. You want to look at it, not the United States Natural Gas Fund. You want to look at some funds overseas where they have to ship it to. Yeah, I'm not going to, I wouldn't, you could short this maybe. I think it's just going to get cheaper and cheaper until they're just not producing anymore because they got something better. That's my fundamental point of view for this. But if there's, I guess, let's see, there is an element to the demand gets higher, usually in the wintertime and stuff overseas. I don't know. If I had to say if I was going to get bullish from here, then yeah, let's just do a retracement. Quick retracement. I'm not going to go to that one. I'm going to go to this one. So off the bottom here, it's like right there to right there. Here you. And then it just goes you're in the way. 3 2 2 3 6 6 1 8. Actually, I kind of like the 764 because of what I see right there, and the 50 because of that gap. And then that means that this can only come back to the 382. And then so let's just pull this out. Yeah, if you wanted to gamble on this, look from 13 to some kind of crazy spike up to 55 for some reason. But I don't recommend this trade.
Yeah, it's not my style either. So let's not spend too much time on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's next?
Let's do Palantir. I see a request there. So Palantir, I see Coin, I see Hood, I see SoFi, HIMS. So Palantir, if it holds above my arc and the angle, it's going higher. That's all I care about. And the arc does sit around 40, 50, 40, 30, that zone. So it doesn't matter. I think anything around here is bullish for Palantir. And people that are waiting for the mid 30s, I think they will get left behind because eventually, not sure when, but eventually it will smash into all-time highs and beyond.
Yep.
And yeah, really nothing's changed. So I'll just go to Coinbase real quick. So Coinbase 205.76 pre-market, perfect wick down yesterday through levels. It was really nice going through that 702, 197. It even went down to 194. A perfect accumulation zone. This is what I live for, breaking out and backtest. I talk about this all the time on my Patreon, breakout backtest. That's in a bullish structure. You always want that backtest. Always, always, always. And this is proof why, because 205.47 pre-market. And what comes next after that? Well, once it flips above this arc, it's going to 245. So that is going to be my next target. But will I take profits there? I don't know. Probably not. I'll probably wait till a lot higher. But this is a bullish chart. Super cool that I went down there yesterday. I was really happy. That's why I bought a lot of Con L, because it was 2x. I want that doubleness, double the fun. Do you have a
Very
coin?
nice. Let's see. Yes, my coin target next is 366.66. I'm just looking at it from the longer perspective here. Of course, this will be broken up into 5 waves going up. This could be the 1-2 from yesterday, actually. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I could probably draw a 5-way up here from here. I'm looking for 366, back to 307, and then on up to 522.50. So, Matt, you might want to wait until at least 366 to sell your coin L.
I don't know. I think I'm just going to hold it until I see crypto topping, to be honest, which could be maybe 1,200, 1,400 for Coinbase. I can honestly
really gonna hold it.
Yeah, I have a long-term bag that I've been buying since like the 60s, way before I started my Telegram and stuff, way before that. And I think I'm going to hold it until maybe 12, 1,400.
It's so funny, the difference between Matt and I. Like a long-term chart for me is like, a weekly chart for him.
Yeah.
Not long-term.
So basically, Coinbase looks good. Let's go to what's next.
You can do one. You've got one, and I'm going to build this VTAC for somebody here.
Okay, yeah, I'll do Hood because I see a request for that. Same situation as Palantir. It got back above an angle, and now it's, as long as this angle holds, it's going to $31, $32. Don't care about the intraday volatility. If it goes back down to 25, great. That's an opportunity, right? Then can accumulate to go higher. But I see bullishness for Robinhood in the near future. And now SoFi, while you're building that chart.
Almost done.
There's no change except it's bullish. It's even more bullish than, so I guess that is a change. It's even more bullish than the bullishness that was bullish. So basically it's getting above this previous high over here, which is 1049, and it's 1075 pre-market. So I'm thinking 1095 is next, but I'm not sure if it's ready to smash through that 1095 because of this giant wick right there last time in July of 2023. That's a big wick, and that still probably means it's probably a big sell block up there, right? So we're probably going to see some profit taking in that zone. But nonetheless, this is in a new territory that it hasn't been in ever before in the history of GAN. It's never been on top of this arc. It's never been on top of the arc and the 45 at the same time. And it's really never been on top of this 50% level since the retrace. Like since way up here, the all-time high, yes, it has, but not since the retrace. So this is a new territory for SoFi, and this means SoFi is super bullish, which means anytime it comes back down to the $10 zone, the nines, or even back to the 45 in the future, 970, I think that'll be the opportunity for SoFi for blasting off in the future. And what Cantonese Cat has been saying, $14 SoFi, yes, it's going to happen, right? The 1369 618 is going to be the orange level, which is the first target. So basically 14 bucks is in sight now. But is it going to blast up right away? Maybe not, because this 50% fib is kind of in the way right now. But for me, as a accumulator of riding trends, I don't care about that, because this is in new territory, and in time, whether it's next week or next month or in 2 months, it is going to break through and go higher. And one last one, hymns, of course. Can't forget the hymns.
Sorry about that. My monitor winked out on me.
No problem. So hymns, it's up pre-market, but what I saw yesterday, we'll just go to the linear scale fibs. I thought it was going to go hit the 2055, the 786 right there from this previous all-time high, but it didn't even do that. So I was like waiting for that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy even more if it goes there, but no, it didn't. But this is a super bullish setup, right? It's a breakout from the 50%. It got rejected by the 886, and it almost back tested the 786. And I always say, if price is on top of the 786 from the all-time high, then it's going to go break out into all-time highs. It's just a matter of time. So there's no point for me in taking profits here, anywhere, because I know it's going to break all-time highs. Right. So this is what I care about most. Is it going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month? I don't care, because the 786 is my friend. And if it stays above, I'm super, super bullish on hymns.
Very cool. And just all the people that are requesting Tesla, we did that first. That was like the first thing we did out of the gate.
Yeah. You guys
so just watch the recording for that. If you want to pull me up, I did do this VTAC. I've never heard of it before. Catheter to Precision Incorporated. Well, let me tell you right now, if you want anything to be precise, you want it to be a catheter, because you don't want the imprecise catheter. But if they've got that down to a science, then I think this could recover. Instead of a typical 382236618, just looking back here at the history back here, I think this one favors 50%, 38.2 to 76.4. So take your screenshot, and it's going to $36.42 next from 80 cents. If it can hold this recovery, it's really trying. I mean, you can kind of see it. It started looking good, like it was going to come up right here, and then it dropped away, and it started to look like it was going to recover right there and dropped away. But maybe the third time's the charm. If they can pull the rabbit out of the hat, then yeah, I'd put a small stake in this. Very small, like a few $100s or something, and see what happens. But $36, 27, almost $28, then $55 would just kind of get it back to 36% of the prior high. And this one's been, I guess they've done a lot of reverse splits, unfortunately. This isn't a great chart. This is not one I would normally recommend at all. But you could, if you have a couple $100 to throw away. VTAC.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
All right. And I see Terra Wolf on there. And I just wanted to talk about it because they had an offering of like a public offering. So it kind of diluted their shares a little bit. It was down below 6 after hours yesterday, but it recovered. Right. It even went back to fast. Yeah, it recovered fast. But this chart is super bullish too, guys. 566. That's exactly where I took profit because of my orange level there, but it blasted through. So I can see that as being support now. So maybe if it even gets back down there, I'll re-enter. But basically, this is super bullish for the future now, and I can see it going higher, and I can see it going to the 200-week moving average above at 712. So will it happen this week? Probably not, because there's also the confluence of this previous candle here, which is at 651, and it might just turn into a wick and be kind of like a temporary double top. So if that is like a temporary double top, then maybe it's going to go back down and retest levels before it goes higher. But super bullish long term, but short term, maybe just sideways to down a little bit until it's ready to break through this 200-week moving average.
Yeah, just like on your chart, I got $10. Like if you just look at your chart, like $10 is where I see a wave 5 topping out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
and
have to
1050 is where that arc and angle meet right there too, and that's in December of 2024, so that's not impossible.
yeah, and that's gonna have to like do a little bit of consolidation, and then after that, it can start getting into that next arc.
Yeah. And then we have, let me just do BT real quick because I see a request. So yeah, 50% fib right there at 418. That's resistance, and it hit that already, right? It went up there to 418 exactly. It hit it 100% on the nose, and that is resistance. So just give it time. Some of these miners are hitting resistance, but it doesn't mean that they're going to tank because they broke above support, and it broke above the arc again. So I think that's going to be a support now and go higher. So therefore, what was once kind of like in a downtrend with lower highs, lower lows, and it's now making a higher high from here, right? So basically, it's a different setup than before. It's a bullish setup, and it's just going to take time to break resistance. That goes for most of the miners too. Most of them.
All right, I've got this NVCR for that request. Novacure Limited looks like another biotech drug company kind of thing. It had an all-time high up here of 232. Not sure what happened to it. I don't know anything about this stock, but it looks like it is trying to find a bottom down here. It broke. When you see these price gaps and it's gapping down, it's like the market collective has a bottom in mind. A price is trying to get to really fast, and it got there at 1087. And then ever since it did that, it's been moving up a little higher, starting to kind of form maybe this rounded bottom recovery shape. A typical retrace is what I'm looking for here. Look for it to go to 52.57 next, test back to 36.63, and then have resistance that holds it up at $78.33. That's right where this mess is. Then this has a good chance of having like a 5-wave down, build a base, and then go to the next larger retrace. But come back to me if it does that, and I'll draw you the rest of the chart.
Very good.
Yeah, if you see it go, if you see it wick into the anywhere near 50, like not in the mid 40s, like just sell it there and just wait for it to test back to 36. My recommendation for that.
And I'll do one more before I got to go. And in you, since Mr. 100th, that they are new to us. So hello, welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Yeah. And in you, I know you got a chart for that too, don't you, Tracker? So we'll just see that I have resistance here at 1522, 1520 with my orange level. It never really hit it before, but I think it could be on its way to do that. So that's going to be the target to break. And I think it might be able to smash through it pretty easily because it's been like hovering around that zone for a while. So we'll just keep an eye on that 1520 level, see if it can break through. And then after that, my next target is 1750. But as long as it stays on top of this zone, the arc and the angle, it's a bullish structure and it really wants to go higher over time.
Yep, I've got my new chart and it agrees perfectly with yours, actually.
Okay.
So I see this as finishing out. It's in its 5th wave now. And my target box is a big gray box. Somewhere it could go to the 2618, but it seems likely that it'll hit Matt's level right around 1722, 1750. I think he had 1786 would be the 2.236 exactly, and that's what I'm looking for because this one went 132. It dropped much lower. I can almost build a new chart that makes this the 1-2. Come to think of it, and I probably will end up doing that. But yeah, look for it to top out in this box around here, somewhere between $16 and $19. But I like where Matt's got his what was it, a 782?
The fib, it was the one.
Yeah, your fib that you had.
The extension, yeah, the 1.272, the 1754.
1754. There you go.
Yeah.
Look for that.
Yeah. Well,
after it hits that, it'll just do like a little ABC retrace down, and then Matt's got to go because he's got another show to do.
Yeah, sorry we can't do all the requests, guys, but I do have a private live stream for my Patreon people. So if you guys are interested, you can join there. Also, Tracker has his subscription for charts as well.
It's so cheap. It's only $2. You can subscribe to me on X. Go to my profile at SBZUNG. Yeah, subscribing is $2, and you get my spreadsheet with all my TA on it and my price targets for everything, and tells you how many percentage gains you can make on each one. It's insane. So come see me there. Kramer says this morning that Tesla's going to soar like Netflix.
Woo! Oh, sell it. No,
Thanks, Kim Kitty. All right, you guys have a great day out